I caught a 3-hour train to Szcecin, and this is everything I managed to do within 5 hours in the city. The first thing I needed to do as soon as I got there was to charge my phone, so I went to Starbucks only to discover I had brought the wrong adapter. So of course I made my way to the mall to go and get a proper adapter. This one is never leaving my bag. Then I will never have this problem again. Now let's explore. The first thing you notice in any Polish city is the architecture. It is the same, yet always so interesting. There was this gate in the middle of the city, but I didn't have enough time to find out why the gate stands there. That is something I will go back and try and find out. Now, since I only had 5 hours, my tour guide, Mr. ChatGPT, suggested that I see the 3 main attractions in Szcecin town. First one being this church, the St. James Cathedral, the tallest and biggest church in Szcecin. I paid 19 zloty to go up and see the view of Szcecin from above the church. It is 110 meters high. The views were surely amazing, really, really beautiful to look at. However, there was a glass there and you couldn't get the clear view of the city if you wanted to capture it. It's one of those things you must see with your own eyes anyway. I took the stairs down. I was hoping I would get to capture something on my way down, but there were glasses everywhere. I got into the main church. This church was so tall, I couldn't even capture the whole thing. I don't know if it's just ridiculously tall or is my camera just too small. I later put 4 zloty into the donation box and took 2 candles. I lit these 2 candles for my father. It was actually on his death anniversary, and one for my sister. I later said a prayer for them. Now, there is no specific amount of money written or asked to put in this, but I feel like in most churches that I've been to, they always ask, or rather it's written there that you should put 2 zloty. And I always assume it's 2 zloty per candle. After my prayers, I made my way to my next attraction. And my next attraction, would you guess what it is? Yes, the castle, because what is Poland without castles? Now, I know you're wondering why these art pieces have no limbs or arms. I was wondering the same. Then I remembered that Poland is a very historic country, and it was really destroyed and wiped out of the map for over 100 years. So this is probably something representing that part or that time in history when they were not even there. I did not really try to find out the meaning of those art pieces, but I do know in my heart that it has something to do with the history and the destruction that was done in this country many years ago. One thing I noticed while walking around Szcecin was how often I had people speaking in German. At first, I was a little surprised, but I later learned that Szcecin is only about 2 hours away from Berlin, so it actually made a lot of sense. Many of the German speakers I came across were probably visitors from Germany, alongside the local Polish residents. It gave the city a really interesting border town feel, where you could hear both Polish and German around you. I finally made way to my last attraction of the day, and I cannot say the name of this street to save my life. I, however, think it was the most beautiful thing I saw in Szcecin on this day. There was so much greenery, beautiful historic architecture, and benches spread out along the path where you could just sit and take in the view. And right in front of you was the Oder River stretching into the distance. And then there was this maritime university. And honestly, I now understand why people come from all over the world to study in universities in Poland, because look at the universities they are giving us. I mean, wouldn't you want to come to school here? Come on. After my lunch, I had about 40 minutes to spare, so I got to enjoy a little bit of Polish street art. Then I crossed over to the other side of the bridge and got to enjoy the view of the street from the other side of the bridge, if that makes any sense. I particularly enjoyed looking at this mall that is shaped like a boat. I mean, that is interesting. Here's a little bit more of Polish street art. I think it's beautiful. One more view of the mall shaped like a boat. Beautiful. And that would be all for Szcecin. I later got to walk around this fun fair park. I did not get to play or do any activities on this park, but I definitely will be back. Anyway, here's a breakdown of how much I spent on this day. Until the next time, bye.